And it doesn't necessarily need to be technology. It can be satisfied customers, for instance, okay, or your GTM that you have discovered. We have had companies which have been funded much lower than their competing company having done better. So those are the three broad buckets in which most of us analyze what comes in, so to speak. Each of us have our own mental models around each of those buckets, but I think that would be largely consistent that some others should add if they have a fourth bucket or one of my buckets doesn't.
Just to sum up, what are the three buckets again?
So first thing is team, second is market, third is what you call a USP or a differentiation.
Okay, next few questions. Let's pick round. Yeah, shout out your question. Go on. Start up.
This question is a very simple one for all of you because I loved your insights. I just want to know the top 3 qualities you look in a founder.
Okay, good question. Hold on that. Next question. Who else had a question? I saw some hands up here. Yeah, go on.
So my question is not from a startup perspective, but from a VC perspective that giving money whenever we are giving money, we always look at various aspects. After giving money, we somehow leave the founder, right? But when the company, because we are seeing lots of startups going through lots of struggles nowadays, wherein we have analyzed and we have researched that if the major investor at that point in time, if handhold them, then that company would have survived. So what is your opinion about it?
Okay.
As an investor?
Yeah, last question. Yes. You had a hand up?
Yeah. There's something I've been grappling with for months now. Ravi, like you said, because the fund has a certain thesis, right?
Because you didn't say it, sir.
You your LPs and investors and there's a certain time frame, and it's also in certain way that if you invest in 10, one has to go very big and only then the numbers work out. So if I'm an early stage founder and I work with quite a few of them, right, who do brilliant work, may not be great pedigree on paper, right? So VC, conventional VC might be ruled out because you guys may not entertain them. Tech might be ruled out because of personal constraints. How does one go about trying to get, how shall I call it, patient venture capital or patient capital? Is it possible in today's setup here, or do we need to reimagine like a new asset class?
Okay, good. So 3 very good questions. Qualities of a founder, whether VCs can, how to find patient capital, and how much handholding do VCs need to do, and are they doing enough?
I'll answer the easy one. Like she said, top 3 qualities of a founder that I think VCs look for. This could vary, right, from fund to fund. For us, ambition is the biggest one. We need founders to be able to build a big ambition for all the same reasons, right? Limited time, big outcome needed, all of that. If founders don't have ambition, and ambition is not just about wealth creation and money, it's about many things, legacy creation, sometimes just stubbornness. मेरे को नहीं बेचना क्योंकि नहीं बेचना है, बस खत्म, मतलब there's no reason, right? That we value that kind of a quality. Second one is hustle for early stage, especially, right? You need to be able to hustle on different dimensions. The third one is flexibility. If this doesn't work, what else can I do? Not being too wedded to an idea. So I would say ambition, hustle, and flexibility.
I'll just add one thing to that. At least in terms of our perspective, do the founders also understand risk? If you paint all rosy picture that I'm going to do this, but do you also understand the risk of getting into some of these things? This is a question I typically ask in every due diligence. So knowing that always helps that you are avoiding those pitfalls. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a shot at the second one maybe, which is about time spent hand-holding. Honestly, I think while, like Ravi already mentioned, people assume that we know a lot. It is not true. So there's a degree to which we can handhold, right? And the degree is both capability as well as time, constraint, right? We have portfolio, very few of us have the partner to portfolio ratio that Ravi has, but so it's worse. We have 10 companies in the portfolio for each of us. There's time allocation, right? And given the nature of the business and what we expect in outcomes, the same thing comes through over a period of time, the reality will be that there will be focus on the one that is going to from 10x to 50x to 100x. Because if there is a $100 million company in the portfolio and I invested in, let's say, $10 million, and if I can do something by, let's assume, which is also very hard, by spending any extra time, if that 100 can become 200, that doubling has just immense more value than me spending a time on a company that is 10 million to 20 million. So there will be some prioritization by VCs done in that nature. And therefore, I believe the guidance to founders should be, don't excessively rely on them. Right? Use them tactically, use them as a bouncing board a little bit, but and different stage VCs will come and go. You have to keep building the company. That's also the part of the life cycle. You want to build a company for 10, 15, 20 years. Some will leave in 4 years, some will leave in 8 years, some so on and so forth. That's also reality. So don't expect too much. Right? Use what you get, and that's the reality of time not available as well as expertise not available, honestly.
And the last question.
So, no, just a point. The reason I mentioned our partner to portfolio ratio was to say that it is changing. We believe it is changing. We have taken a lead to make that as a structure. But it's also related to the stage of the company, right? What you mentioned of what we see happening, we did an analysis internally to say, what would you do? One of the things we realized is most of these seem to be happening at a stage where you expect a fully established management structure and process, it is Series B or beyond. We are not, none of us are in that, unless he wants to get into Series B and beyond kind of stuff. But very, very telling for us to spend a bit of time and understand that you will have compliance requirements all the way right from startup to Series E, whichever way you want to go through, right? And you've been in Infi, right? It's only when you go public that you get to that kind of a rigid structure that you want to go back and work. But it's very telling that you have to understand, I believe it is not the VC's responsibility beyond Series B or Series C, because by that time you have taken enough money, you have enough structures to have put together a professional team that is supposed to be paid to do the job it is supposed to do, including a board, right? So very contra view in that sense. This piece about VC bashing is all fine, but it should, in my opinion, stop at Series B, because beyond that, the person should have been mature enough to put a management team to take this forward. I had to make a point.
Sure,
right?
and then last question: how can founders convince VCs to be patient, investors to be patient?
It's a different class of investors, and that is coming in. Is it at the level that it has to be? I would say no. I mean, even we have had what Sri Krishna with Unitas. I always used to say, you're supposed to be the patient capital person, right? So they've existed 14 years now, 15 years or longer. So you've had those kind of things happen. Not as many as what you think will work through. But here's a piece that is happening on the ecosystem that is very interesting. Right? Take a look at what is happening on philanthropy in India in the last 2 years. I am very, very enthused by the fact that there are so many first generation entrepreneurs actually putting money in. This has not happened in India from the time of Tatas and Birlas, right? The original set. So we have had a whole 2 generations of industrialists who have really not thought of philanthropy in a structured model as compared to what we are seeing in the last few years. So I think it's a matter of time. I'm very, very hopeful, and I think it's going to get there, right? And you'll see this with a lot of people, right? You have seen this with Rain Matter Capital. You'll see this with a few of the other pieces that is happening on the IISc funds that is getting created. You'll see VC setting up the ACT fund, which was set up during the COVID time, right? So if you pay attention, I think this is growing. Is it still at the same level and what do you think? Maybe not, but I'm very hopeful that it's going to change.
On that optimistic note, we come to an end for a panel discussion. A big round of applause, please, for and let's take a group photo now. Let me invite all the founders who pitched to also come up on stage. Let's take a group photo with all you guys. And the rest of you, please, photos, hashtag, everything, put this on the stage. So all the founders, please come up. This is the chairs from the back. Sorry. Surya also come on. Surya. Speakers also. A big shout out to Madan Padaki, President of TIE Bangalore. Okay, everyone, everyone look at side. Madan?
All set?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
One more.
I can't hold
One
in
more.
my tummy.
6 packs, 6 packs.
Done.
Thank you.
Okay, we also have mementos for each of our speakers over here. So, and,
Thank you everyone here. My name is Surya, I'm from Matrix Forum of Thai Bangalore. And thank you to every all startups who are here.
Yeah, I know.
My gentlemen, I'll just take a quick minute here from a Matrix Forum perspective. We have a couple of more activities that is happening, but before that, the startups who have come down today, just to let you know that the next step that will take place is one-on-one interaction with these investors who have shown interest in a couple of your companies, right? So that's how we plan to go about, and we will connect you over email with the respective investors, with the respective companies whom they have been shown interest. And also, just to let you know, August 10th, we have an online webinar where Cisco for Startups is going to be talking about the tools that they have for startups. So this is an online, do participate. Then August 18th, we have the healthcare. So anybody interested in healthcare, we have a webinar. We're going to be talking about interoperability in healthcare, and likewise, many more things. As you all know, TIE always keeps coming up with. August 17th, we have the next cohort. So thank you all, and
a big round of applause to the whole TIE Bangalore team. Let me also invite Madan Padaki to come and give tokens of appreciation to each of our jury members. The first one would be Ravindra Rishapa. Come up here on the stage.
I'm going in first.
Yeah.
We'll continue our discussion.
These are all the juries who put in all the hard work to choose those 5 startups we just saw. So, big round, please.
Wait till they really figure out.
Yeah, Parag, let me invite Parag also to come up on stage. Parag, you are also a part of the jury. Round of applause, please, for Parag and Ravindra. And also the next one would be to Arjun, of course. Arjun, please come up on stage. Arjun from Special Invest.
Arjun has been
Rao.
claiming to be the youngest VC around.
The youngest. Just another award category, youngest VC. Yeah, sure. And let me invite Madan Padaki also to come up on stage. And give, the next one to Rajiv. Yeah. Rajiv, please come up. And another person again for Sai, please. Thank you.
And this is the non-equity investor.
So you call that category as we don't see?
A few words from Madan.
So not time for words, but I think it's wonderful to see this energetic gathering here, and that's the whole purpose of TIE. How do you bring the whole ecosystem actors together so that entrepreneurs can succeed? So kudos to the entire Matrix team for pulling this off, and I was just discussing with Arvind that this will be probably the first of many such gatherings that we will do. And thanks to Madan as well for bringing us all together. Nobody
Thanks to
questions
the other Madan. There are two Madans here. So because I came here first, I'm Madan and he's the other Madan for today.
So I call him the aspiring Madan because
Oh.
he's still.
I know you still have some way to go.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
So thanks also in absentia to Axel. Axel Launchpad
Yeah,
has very
absolutely.
graciously hosted us in this fabulous venue. There's a very good terrace upstairs also for those of you who want to check out a view of the traffic jams in Koramanga. Aerial view from there. Oh, sorry, I should not spoil the mood for the day. Anyway, thank you all very much. The pitch decks will be online, published online after this event, and we'll keep you informed on when the next two events are going to be. We have 16 winners, right? 16 finalists plus winners. So 5 and 6 in the next two batches. So please keep stay tuned for the next rounds of events over here. Thank you all so much, and God bless.